Hello everyone, welcome once again to another Power BI tutorial. And in this tutorial, you are going to learn how to create a very simple hospital dashboard like this. And the data that we are getting is from live SQL data. You will learn some basic usage of Power Query Editor or basic type of formatting. And you will also learn how to connect a live SQL data with Power BI. So let's get started. Hello everyone. Welcome once again to another Power BI related tutorial on our channel. And in this tutorial, we are going to learn about how to analyze a hospital data set which is hosted on a SQL that is MySQL server, and how we will connect it in Power BI and how we are going to analyze it. So this data set is hosted on this particular server, that is 127.0.0.1, which is the local host. For MySQL, the application that we are running currently is XAMPP. So you can install XAMPP in your computer to install such databases. Now, once you have your database ready, your server administrator will give you several credentials. So credentials will be something like host, username, password, and database name. So with the help of these four credentials, you can get started with Power BI. Now in Power BI, click on Get Data, click on More. In More, you can see MySQL. You will connect MySQL database. Here you have to put the name of your server. In my case, the server IP is 127.0.0.1. But you can also connect to a live server. So here the database that we have is, the database name is, let's copy the database name. This is SS underscore hospital. We are going to connect this data. In advanced options, you can run various type of queries. When you will click OK, it will ask you for the server credentials. If your data set is hosted on a server, so you would have users to you would have username and password. Password in our case is blank, and we will connect. Once the successful connection is enabled, you will be able to see all your database tables here. In phpMyAdmin, which comes pre-installed in XAMPP control panel, so when you will click on admin, you will see phpMyAdmin. In phpMyAdmin, when you will click on any database and click on more tab here, you will see a designer. Let's see the designer in the full screen. This designer will help you in finding out the relationship between different tables. So here you can see, let's arrange them in such a order that the relationship is clearly visible. Here you can see hospital wards table and hospital beds table are connected. Like wards can be general ward, private ward, ICU ward, and in those wards there are beds. So that's why ward ID in this table is a primary key and ward ID in this table is a foreign key. Bed ID in this table is a primary key, and when a patient is allotted a bed or when the patient is admitted in the hospital, this bed ID will be passed as a reference, and from here the patient ID will be taken. So this patient ID is referred in the bed allotment. It is also referred in OPD booking. OPD is outdoor patient department or outpatient department, where patients from outside select uh, doctors in order to consult them, and then doctor decides or gives them some kind of medication or treatment. So the doctor that is taking care or that is looking at patient, so it is connected with the help of OPD booking. So this type of ER diagram or database diagram will help you in creating the models in Power BI also. Important thing about Power BI is since in the SQL table all the foreign key relationships are pre-established, so we don't have to do anything extra. We will simply select all of these, and while selecting all of these you just have to make sure that everything is appearing correctly here. This. So now we have selected all of them. If you think there is a need to transform any data, you can go to transform, but we will simply load the data. All the tables are now being loaded. Now you can see we have the 6 tables. You have different type of views in Power BI. One is report view, one is table view. So patients that are discharged, so only for those patients discharge date and time is written. Otherwise only allotment time is written. This is the model view where you will see the relationship. You can manage relationship also, but from here you can see the relationship between these tables. And Power BI has done it automatically for you. If you want to manage relationships, you can see which table is related to the other table. So bed allotment, bed ID is related to bed ID. It is like that. For example, in the hospital, the wards are as follows: general ward, ICU ward, private ward B, and emergency ward. Ward type is also given, and here it is also given which ward has how many total beds. Now, these, for example, general ward has 10 beds. Now, when you will go to beds, that is hospital beds, you will see ward ID there. So from here, when we will merge these two tables, then we will be able to see the bed charges of, like we can find like which ward has how many number of beds, which ward has what is the average bed charge of this ward. This type of information can be fetched. So when the model is established, you can directly go to report view and start creating some data. So first of all, we have patient. Let's see the gender of patients. So first we will try to create some basic graphs. So in order to create the gender, we will select the pie chart. In pie chart, we will select gender as legend. And from here, we will select count of patient ID. So automatically count of patient ID as values. So this way you will be able to see count of patient by gender. Now if you want to customize or format this graph, what you can do, you can come here and you can go to the general tab. In the title tab, so this is count of patient ID. Instead of count of patient ID by gender, we will write count of patients by gender. We can increase the size and we can align it to center. When you are selecting a visual, you can again go back to formatting. You can see from here you can change the color. If you want to see the same color, you can select, otherwise we can select a different color and we will be able to see the data. It's up to you, whatever you want to choose. Now we can go to general once again, effects, and we will just enable the shadow. So this is count of patients by gender. So from here we can say that there are more female patients here. Again, for various reasons we are just selecting a dummy data here, but Our real data would also look similarly like this, although there will be many more columns there, but it will look pretty much similar. So this is count of patients by gender. Now you will see that for OPD booking, we only have the patient ID and doctor ID. We don't have the patient name and doctor name. So we will try to create a table chart or a table visual here. And in our table visual, we will try to put patient name, doctor name, and booking time and visit reason. This type of things we can put. So from here, we will take the patient. So you can see we have first name and last name of patient. Now we have first name and last name of patient. What if we want to create full name of patient? So we will take help of Power Query. When you will click transform here, this will open Power Query. In Power Query, we will go to patient and here you will see first name and last name. Now what we are going to do, we are going to select both of them, and so for this what we can do here is when we can go to transform after selecting two of them, and after going to transform you will see an option for text column, that is merge column. When you will use merge column, it will ask for a separator. So when you will not use any separator, so John Doe will comes as a same, in just without any space or any separator. So we will use space as a separator, and name of new column will be full name. When you will do this, now you will see full name John Doe. Okay, now we have created merged column, and now once we have done all of this, we can simply go to home tab and close and apply. So all our changes will be applied. Similarly, we will see in doctor also if the same case is there. Okay, yes, in case of doctors also the same case is there. Name is given as first name comma last name. Although we can select there also, but we will simply do the same thing here. So this is where Power Query helps us in splitting the columns or merging the columns, splitting the tables or merging the tables. So that is what we can do here. We will use full name, and now you will be able to see that. Now we will go to home, and close and apply is very important because otherwise those changes will not be applied. So now we have to see booking details also, which are there in different tables. So now from patients we will drag, you know, so we will select this, and in columns we will drag patient name, which is the full name of patient. Okay, now here it is appearing as full name. So what we can do, we can rename for this visual, because doctor full name and patient full name will, may cause some kind of confusion. So we will call it patient name. Okay, so what I have done here is I forgot to hit enter. Rename for this visual patient name, enter. So now we have the patient name. Similarly, we will drag doctor from doctor's table also. We will drag the full name. So this patient is consulting this doctor. So we will simply rename doctor name. Okay. Now we have patient name and doctor name. We will simply go and we will go to values. We will go inside the format your visual. So in format your visual, you can change things like, value, font size, and you can style presets also. You can see like minimal, bold header, alternating rows, and there are other type of contrasting rows. So you can design your visual in such a way. Okay, and you have these visuals, and you can select the background color. Let's select light this color, and text color we can select as any dark text color. Okay, alternate background color we can select like this. So you can do a lot of these things, and since the text color is not visual, let's select a dark text color. So this way you can design your visuals as per your settings. And what we can do here, since we have more space, we can increase the size. So this way, from two different tables, we are able to tell that this patient name is consulting this particular doctor, and we can also select something like registration. Okay, so in the same table, we will go to build visual part, and we will drag the registration. So registration has been made 2024 quarter 4 and December 12th. So what happens is, whenever we drag a date column, if our column has a date type of date, so year, quarter, month, etc. comes, we can remove quarter from here. So this is simple, 2024 December 12th. So this way we have the patient registration part. Okay. Now similarly we can see we have different doctors. So we can see every doctor has a specialization. Okay, so here you, when you will see in doctors table, you will see specialization. So cardiologist, orthopedic, neurologist, dermatologist, pediatrician. Okay, so on the basis of that we can count passengers. So what we can do, let's create a simple graph. Obviously in this example there are only few rows available, but in actual you will be able to see, with the help of specialization you will be able to see which patients are visiting more, what type of patients are coming mostly. So and what or we can say what type of problem is prevailing more here. So here we have this, and in legend we will drop specialization, and from here we will drop count of patient ID. Okay, so this way you will be able to see, let's zoom in, that most of the people are visiting neurologist. Obviously 2 1 2 will not make too much of difference, but let's say you have thousands of patients, so then you will be able to see like most of the patients are visiting neurologist, then orthopedic. Very less amount of patients are visiting pediatrician. Based on this, hospital can decide, you know, like for example, in one very big hospital, when we visited, so in gastrology, most number of patients were visiting for gastrology department, and second nephrology department. So, and if you will go to maternity section, then obviously there were patients, but the number compared to that was very low. So that's why what they did, for OPD they had more than 4 or 5 doctors for gastrology only, but for other departments where patients were visiting rarely, they had one doctor per department. So those type of things can be planned by looking at the historical data or demand. Here also we can go and, you know create a simple shadow. So now we have count of patients by gender, or count of patient by specialization. So we can click on this and make the title correct and increase its size and align its center. So this way we have count of patients by gender, and John Doe. This is patient name. These are the doctors they are visiting. In this table also, if we'll click on it, we will be, let's click here. So in this table also, we will be able to, or we can add a specialization also, so that it is visible, and then we will simply reduce the size so that we can see. Yeah, so this way we will be able to see all type of patients and all. So suppose you click John Doe, so then you will be able to see the patients who are visiting John Doe, because this particular doctor is cardiologist, and in case of this patient, we have male. 40% of the patients are male. So you can see some data like this. You can click again and see. So this way you will be able to see a data like this. We can again make it like this. And what we can do, we can just uh, bring these tables down. Just a minute. We can bring these tables a little down and reduce their size, so that we can put a heading also. So here we will put a simple text. So we will put a text box, and in text box we can write something like hospital data. Just a minute. So text box is appearing here. So this is SS hospital dashboard. Again, this is just a sample name, just a fictitious name that we are taking. Selection is sometimes problem in Power BI. We will simply adjust it this, like this, and increase its width, align the text in center, and make the text white. Obviously it will disappear. Go to its property, effect, background color as blue, and now we will simply drag this table just below the heading. So this way we will be able to create a simple hospital dashboard. In our hospital dashboard, we have count of patients by gender, count of patients by specialization. We have all the doctor names by specialization. Now this is our OPD table. Okay. So in a hospital, this is our OPD table. So we will simply turn on the title OPD booking data, or whatever you want to put it, and let's align it to center. So this is OPD booking data. We will simply copy it and paste so that we can make a copy, and here we are going to put IPD booking data, or in simple words, bed booking data. Okay. So now in bed booking data, when you will select this, obviously patient name and doctor name can be there. Okay. We will remove the registration date, specialization, and from bed allotment we will bring bed ID. So this is bed allotment. Okay, so from here we will drag bed allotment date. Now you can see it is not able to calculate this, because when you will see the details, can't display the data, cannot, because it cannot determine the relationship. So obviously we have dragged patient name from here, but we cannot create the relationship. So let's remove the patient name and let's bring the patient ID from here. Okay, so we have patient ID, but we are not able to tell the patient name. So here you can see Now we have the patient full name and allotment date. If you will go to model tab, in model tab you will be able to see this is patient. Okay, in patient we have patient ID and this is bed allotment. So obviously patient ID is common in both. Okay, but doctor ID is not. So what we have done here is we have simply removed it, and now we have patient name and allotment name. So in allotment date we will remove this, and now so after making a copy of this table, let's say we want to drag the bed number. Okay, a simple thing that we have done here is in bed number. So in the table which is hospital beds, we have changed the bed number type to text. So we have converted its type to text because originally it was a number. So while going into Power Query editor, we have just changed this much. So this way, we will not face problems in putting the bed number as a text value. Okay. So let's say on bed number, so you will see all the bed numbers here. On these beds, we want to see patient name. So which patient is there? Okay. So obviously, you will be able to see some blank values which we are going to deal just later. And from here, you will from bed allotment, you will be able to see allotment date and discharge date. Allotment date, discharge date. Okay, we will remove quarter from this value also and this value also. So this way we will be able to see. We know that year is the same in this case, so we can also get rid of year for now. And if you want to keep, you can keep. But we have done same, and you can get different type of other things like bed status or whatever you want. It is empty or available or okay. Now since you have bed status here and you want bed booking data, so you will select only those beds which are occupied.